Hey guys, Nour here, and today I'm not starting with an intro skit. However, this video is very special because it's a collab with the awesome and talented author Mandi Lynn, who if you don't already watch on her YouTube channel, you need to do so right now because she is awesome. Mandi is the author of She's Not Here, I Am Mercy, and Essence, and she's also doing a vlog on her channel where she talks about the difference between publishing her first book from her second and third. She's sharing her experience with you all, so be sure to go on her channel after watching this video to learn more about her publishing experience. I will link to her video in the card here and in the description below. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and be sure to subscribe so you can always catch my funny and helpful videos. Let's get started! Now, even though my second novel isn't technically published yet, it is currently in the process of getting published in mid-2019. I have a date in mind for the publication, but I'm saving it for a later reveal. However, I have pretty much done most of the big tasks for publishing a book professionally, which is why I feel like I have enough to say about the differences between publishing my first book from my second. For those who don't know, my first book is Dance with the Devil, and I wrote it my senior year of high school and published it my first semester of college. Let me start out by telling you my process with publishing this book so you can see how it's different from my second book. Let's start with the fact that I was a broke high school graduate who couldn't afford to hire a cover designer or an editor. So I actually did the two jobs myself, and I basically gave my book to a couple of friends and had them edit my book. Of course, they weren't professionals. I mean, they enjoyed reading and they knew a thing or two about grammar, but that was the extent of their knowledge. But they still managed to do the best that they could do. But let's face it, Dance with the Devil is not a perfect book, and it could definitely have benefited from a professional eye. Although those who read it enjoy it, when I read it nowadays, I know it could be better. I actually have a feeling that one day I'll rewrite Dance with the Devil with new characters and events in mind and finally edit the book professionally. Because it's actually a good book, in my opinion, if more work goes into it. Now, as for the cover design, I remember asking a couple of my closest friends to help me with a photo shoot. We met at a friend's house, the one whose ear you see here in the foreground, and we took pictures in his backyard. He had a gorgeous backyard with a little river or stream like 10 feet away, so it looked all foresty and it was perfect. My friend with the ear is supposed to be Gabriel, who is the love interest, and the friend who is fading into the background and you could almost see right through him is Michael. Well, not my boyfriend Michael, but Michael in the book, who is a ghost. He is also a love interest, though he's obviously dead. This isn't a huge spoiler since he dies in the first chapter, which is what kickstarts Kaylee's healing ability. And then there's me playing Kaylee because all my girlfriends were off in college out of state and there was only me to fill that role. We took so many photos for the photo shoot, and honestly, some were really ridiculous. I don't think any one of us knew what we were doing. I had no clue what the cover should look like. I just knew that I wanted a ghostly Michael and a Kaylee who is indecisive. So finally, after taking a bazillion pictures, we came up with the final cover, which was right after I realized that I could probably edit my friend to look translucent if we took two of the same picture. One where everybody was in the picture except for Ghostly Michael, and one where only Ghostly Michael was in the picture. Then I went home and overlapped the two images and made the one with Ghostly Michael more translucent, and ta-da! You have a cool but obviously unprofessional cover. Don't try this at home, kids. Just hire a professional cover designer. Or, I guess it can be done if you know what you're doing and have some experience with photography and design. I clearly didn't though. You're probably wondering at this point if I did anything to promote Dance with the Devil, and the answer is no. I was naive and thought that if I put my book on Amazon and told my friends and family, and at the time my 0 Twitter followers, that my book is out, that the world will care for some reason and that I'll be swimming in money. But boy was I wrong. In the end, Dance with the Devil sat on my shelf unnoticed. But that was my fault. The great thing is that I learned from all those mistakes and now know what not to do with my other books. Now, with my second book, Divinity Falling, I did everything differently. I hired 2 editors, one for line editing and light developmental editing, and the second for proofreading. I hired 2 editors because my first editor encouraged me to get a second, because even editors get blinded to a story after working on it for some time. After all, it takes a second eye to catch all the mistakes. My editors actually finished working on Divinity Falling in December. I also hired a great cover designer, but she won't be working on Divinity Falling until this May. You might have heard of 8 Little Pages. They're the cover design company who's going to work on my cover and do the interior formatting of my book. And if you haven't heard of them, check them out. They make gorgeous covers and do such a beautiful job with their interior designs. I am so excited to see what they do with my book. Overall, Divinity Falling and Dance with the Devil got 2 different treatments. But just because I hired an editor and cover designer for Divinity Falling doesn't mean it's the end of my work. Another difference between the 2 publishing processes is that I'm doing more to promote Divinity Falling. I'm growing my author platform on social media, writing a ton of emails to book reviewers, which I'll send out in a few months, and I'm learning how to advertise my book on Amazon, Facebook, and other platforms. I'm working smarter to get Divinity Falling discovered, as opposed to Dance with the Devil, where I was naive and basically left the book's success to fate. But the major difference between publishing my first book and my second is the stress level. Obviously, with more work comes more stress. I think it's the good kind of stress that leaves you excited, but it's still stress at the end of the day. I have to juggle my day job with research, writing emails to book reviewers, planning the book's release, and so much more. But I'm honestly enjoying this book's work more than I did with the first one because there's so much more passion behind it. I know what I'm doing more now, and I have more guidance from the amazing authortube community on here. So while I'm almost always stressed, I'm also always excited. Obviously, I was also excited to publish Dance with the Devil, but it was more the excited urge to just have my book out there, whereas this time around, I'm excited because I know more people will actually get to enjoy it. So yeah, those are the major differences between publishing my first and second book. Thanks again to author Mandi Lynn for doing this collab with me. Be sure to go check out her video to learn about her publishing experience from her first book to the second and third. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, check out my others, and subscribe. And remember, Nour for President!